Good morning. Yes, my name is Brian Thompson. There's a great write-up in the bulletin, I noticed, and that's my wife's work. She's the writer on the team. Her name's Barbara. She's also the better speaker on the team, but you got me this morning. So we're a family of four. Both my girls are in school, one at university, that's Chloe, and they are pictured here. Chloe's at Taylor University, her second year in university, and our daughter Sarah is a junior at our international high school. So what we did was accept God's call to go to the mission field in Hungary. I didn't give you a map, but you find Italy, go to the right a little bit, you can find Hungary, a little landlocked state or country. And we had this idea of media communications in missions. Went to United World Mission, asked how we could help, and we've been there. We're blown away 5 years already. August this year marked our 5-year. And Fulton has been there with us every step in support, prayer, financially. We thank you guys so much. So I'm here this month, a couple family reasons, but just great to call on our churches and say, hey, could just give you a little update of what we've been up to. My prayer, we're doing video communications mostly, and I have a couple different levels of projects that I call my tiers, and sometimes I feel like I'm stuck on the lower tier doing not great things, but my prayer is like, God, let's do great things, and it's funny how he answers that we had a chance to go to Africa. So we're in Hungary serving the European continent, but from our home office, they asked us if we'd go to Africa to help 8 different ministries celebrate their 30 years of ministry that's going on. So, wow, what a great project, what a great idea. Chance to travel to another continent that I'd never been to was appealing as well. So we visited 8 ministries, did 14 different interviews on video in 4 different languages. That video now stands at like 14 and a half minutes. We're trying to figure out how we pare that down into those small bites that people can digest and watch. But that great thing turned into the video on the bottom right I've got playing on my laptop. And that's when 2 of the ministries, couples that were in the video, came to us and said, hey, we're going back to the United States. We need something to show. Can you help us out with, I call it that home ministry assignment video, which is kind of on that lower tier, but God just humbled me and said, these are great things too. This is what really helps the people that are on the field tell their story. And we got confirmation of that in this email from the Thompsons. They're missionaries in Senegal, Africa for over 12 years now. But they said, like they had what they called a professional piece, and something that really showed their context and opened up people's hearts to what their ministry is all about. So again, the small things, God help me see, those are great too. And then maybe you've heard of this great immigration refugee wave that has gone through Europe. Thousands of refugees from Syria, Iraq, Iran, Northern Africa have poured into the European continent. Yes, it's changing the face of Europe, but there are some amazing opportunities to share the gospel. These people who we may never have gotten a chance to go to Syria for sure, Iraq or places, and now they're at our doorstep. Saeed, over on the right, he and his brothers, Pakistani guys, and we had an opportunity to go to this camp when everything kind of settled down. Refugees were moved into camps, and we were able to serve there twice a month. We brought coffee and tea, some sweets, and just knocked on doors to invite people out for conversation. And the conversations were just, they usually came to us and like, so you're with a church, a Christian church? Yes, we are. We represent Jesus and how this can make a difference in your life. These Pakistani guys invited us into their apartment, and it was crazy that afternoon, I'd like to say we're rolling cigarettes on their floor. And they showed us basically the store that they're operating out of their little apartment. But we couldn't out-bless them. We couldn't out-give them. They were giving us the energy drinks, making the offers for cigarettes, which we passed on. But, they were blessing us. And we're like, no, this is our job. But Some great conversations. We didn't see conversions, but we're planting seeds, and again, the conversations were there. It was just really an amazing time. But United World Mission, we helped as much with that flood, the compassion, making sure they were cared for. But long range, we're looking at what we call a 7-city initiative, and helping or establishing multicultural church. Multicultural church, not a new term perhaps, but this is, like I said, a changing face of Europe. Established churches that are willing to open up their doors and minister to these people, Muslims who are changing their faith. They've had it with the Muslim faith, and they're open. So there really is opportunity. I said 7-city initiative. 2 of those you might see aren't exactly defined yet, even in different countries, but that's just to say we're still kind of working to find these partnerships. We know there'll be 7. My people have come to us and said, could we do 7 videos by the end of the year? And I said, no, maybe 3. So our first stop was Rotterdam. I was there 3 weeks ago, and this is a multicultural church, Rotterdam Netherlands, that they've been multicultural for years, so it was pretty easy for them when these Persian people, people from Iraq came to their doors and said, could we share in your worship? Can we be part of your worship? And that's what was happening that day. They had basically turned over the service to these Iraqis who were baptizing 2 Iraqi refugees. They had come to faith, come to Christ in their journey from Iraq. Now they're in Rotterdam. That guy on the right, or in the white shirt, was one. My instructions for video, I couldn't show any faces. So all these pictures are some of the video, but I had to stay in the back and could only shoot from the back. And did I say 2 people were baptized that day, a man and a woman, not related, but just, you wouldn't believe the spirit and the on fire for God that these people showed. I mean, after the baptism, we went back for a meal, the chairs got moved back, they found Persian music on YouTube, and there was dancing and celebration and praise to God for these 2 people who had given their lives to Christ. So, again, I've got a bunch of footage. I'm hoping it's not going to be another 14-minute video, but it's going to be great to build awareness, to build a model, to show what is going on in these churches that are willing to open up their doors and minister to Muslims. I think there'll be some smaller videos that'll also be great, and that's where I just found in this verse in John that, the great things that Jesus is doing, walking on water, raising the dead, and he's saying, you're going to do even greater things. So that just blows me away. But our prayer points, we really feel relationships here when we build relationship with those that we work with or those that we interview, and they're sharing their hearts. But we pray for our own relationship with God on the field. And we just appreciate, again, Fulton, the prayer group on Saturdays. I know you guys lift us up in prayer every week, probably every day. And we've posted these prayer points. Finishing the year well is always big for us. And so I've got, like I mentioned, a table. I'm showing that video. We can't hear it very well, but it's some pretty interesting images from an African village. And we have a new prayer card. If you'd like to build relationship with us, probably the best way is our email newsletter, which I have a sign up for that on my table as well. So again, thanks to Fulton, the relationship. You guys have been with us for that 5 years plus, and we're just looking forward to what God would have for the next 5.